All right, welcome everybody. Um, I'm Frank Izaguirre. I'm one of the editors of Birding Magazine, and I'm here with the ABA's 2024 Bird of the Year artist, who is Natasza Fontaine. Hi, Natasza. How you doing?
Hi, I'm doing all right.
Okay, excellent. So Natasha's a really accomplished birder. She's a great ear birder, and she's an audio recording enthusiast, and she's also a botanist, and of course, she's an artist. So the reason I wanted to do this little mini program is because I've seen I've seen the Bird of the Year art already. It's really excellent. Probably a lot of viewers, but maybe not everyone knows that the Bird of the Year art goes on the cover of Birding Magazine, and we also do an interview with the artist in the magazine. But the thing with the interview in the magazine is that it focuses on the art. And I learned, I really looked carefully at Natasha's art before asking her questions about the art and her process. But and I learned things about the art that I hadn't realized. So it's like a really great interview, but the focus of the interview is on the bird and the art. And there's other really cool things about Natasha and her birding career that I kind of wanted a chance for people to know about Natasha, because um, she's just done a lot of really cool things. So that's kind of why I had this idea to do this little artist reveal and a little mini Zoom interview. So I hope people enjoy it. All right, so some viewers, okay, so let's just go into the questions. So some viewers may know this about you already, but in 2020, you completed a very competitive Florida Big Year, ending the year with 386 species. I have some fun questions about that, or I think they're fun. Do you
Boy.
have a Florida nemesis?
Yes. So,
What's your
so
nemesis?
my Florida nemesis is a species that doesn't belong here. It's the Townsend's warbler. Um,
Mm,
that bird, I don't remember how many times I chased that bird, but I missed it. Okay, so just to
for
start
your
off
big
with,
year?
yeah, I missed it. And yeah, it was pretty much weekend after weekend of like watching
Oh,
eBird
wow.
reports, right? And then
Oh, wow.
like Saturday early morning, driving down to South Florida to Sarasota, like, okay, yeah, it's still there. I'm gonna go get this bird. Drive down there, no bird. Go back up to up to North Florida. Oh, Monday it's seen. Tuesday we saw it. Thursday we saw it. I'm waiting for the weekend because I'm in
And you
school.
gotta
I'm doing
work.
other stuff.
Yeah.
It's like I can't
Yeah.
just leave like immediately. So waiting for the weekend, go down there, miss it again. And then the last time that I was able to actually go and chase it. Like this was my last time I could do it reasonably. Okay. Um, maybe like 10 birders are like, yeah, it's right there. It's right there in the oak, in the live oak. And I'm
Oh
looking,
my
I'm
God.
looking. I did not see that bird and I was
Oh no.
infuriated. And I was like, look, I don't want to see this bird. I don't want to see, I don't want to see a Towns warbler. Like I'm like, if that's the one bird I don't want to see, I just don't want to see it. Don't want to see it. So
Wow.
yeah,
Was that
nemesis.
more in spring or fall
That
or
was,
both?
I believe it was spring, but I'd have to check
Okay.
again. But yeah,
Wow.
yeah, that was rough. That
Yeah.
was rough. I mean, like, I'm gonna be honest, I cried a bit. I was like, I can't get this bird.
Ah.
And it was like more
Dang.
so not like because I missed the bird, but it was just like I was putting so much effort into like
Yeah.
trying, this doing this drive and just getting it. And it was just like, oh my gosh. So yeah.
Well, it's gotta be. That's the thing with the big years. You kind of don't have a choice. You kind of gotta go for it, even if like part of you doesn't want to. Okay. Oh, that's a
Yeah.
good nemesis. That's a good nemesis.
Yeah.
Have you seen it elsewhere?
Nope. It would have been a lifer.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Okay. All
Yeah.
right. All right. So what happens these days when like 2024 there's a potentially chaseable Townsends? How do you feel about that?
I'm not going for it. I'm not. That's just I'm not. I'm
It
not.
had its
Unless I'm in an
chance.
area that the Townsend is like a yard bird or something, I'm not chasing that bird. I don't care. I'm not. I'm not doing it.
Okay. Oh man, that's great. Okay, another big year question. So you went to, I know you went to all 67 Florida counties. Were there any
Yeah.
counties or specific birding spots that are like a little more under the radar that you discovered during your big year that you just loved?
I wouldn't say that I discovered any new ones during the big year.
Okay.
But I will say that I really enjoy birding in the Western Panhandle, like
Really?
Okaloosa
Cool.
County, Santa Rosa, Escambia
Wow.
County, Bay County, like really like always a great time out there. And then
Wow.
also like downtown Pensacola, I would say like it wasn't, I didn't find this out during the big year, but after the fact, like downtown Pensacola this past spring, there's like a grassy lawn kind of park area across from the stadium that's downtown. And in the same day, I ended up getting upland sandpiper, buff-breasted sandpiper, white
Wow.
rump, and Wilson's phalarope also in like a lawn, like this big like lawn. It was
Wow.
so
That's a
like,
great haul.
yeah, it was so the Western Panhandle. Yeah. I love Okaloosa Veterans Park. That is a great
Huh.
area. So no, not really like during the big year. Because I mean I actually wasn't so aware of the Western Panhandle during the big year. So all of that was kind of new to me.
Mm-hmm.
So but after the fact, yeah, I really enjoy birding out there.
That's so cool. It makes me so glad I asked you that question because, I might have easily guessed, I don't know, something in the Keys or, something like that. But I wouldn't have, I've never been to Pensacola.
Yeah.
Okay, so
Yeah.
that's
So
a
I
place
mean,
I got a bird. That's neat. So
yeah, going
it's good
south is
for,
good, but
yeah. Is this good for
yeah.
like shorebirds, or is there some other stuff that's kind of good there?
Neotropic migrants and
Oh,
shorebirds. It's just,
yeah. That
because I
makes
think
sense because it's
it's
on the
like
Gulf
right.
Coast, right? Yeah,
Yeah,
of
exactly.
course.
Exactly. So
I have birded Tallahassee and I really like that area, even though I haven't
yeah,
spent a lot of time there. Really nice birding there. Oh,
yeah,
very
there's
cool.
good
That's
birding out
awesome.
there.
Okay. So one more big year question. So you live in Florida now, but you're from New York. Do you ever
Yeah.
think you'll do a New York big year?
If I had the resources, I probably would do a big year everywhere. So
Everywhere. Okay,
everywhere.
what are your top three places or like regions that you would like to do a big year
Oh man.
with
Yeah, I would
infinite
do it in New York.
resources?
Yeah, I would do it in New York. I
Okay.
would probably do it in Arizona.
Hmm.
That whole like Arizona, New Mexico, Texas. Um, yeah, I would, yep.
How about
That would probably be.
an ABA area big year?
Oh yeah, I would definitely do that. Yeah, I would do the entire area. If I had the resources and the time, I would do it.
Oh, cool. Well, I hope you're able to do some more big years.
Yeah.
Okay, excellent. All right. So, all right, earbirding and bioacoustic recordings are major interests of yours. Are there any birds you haven't heard sing that you would really like to, or are there any bird vocalizations you haven't recorded yet that you'd really like to?
Mm. So just like the big year question, I would love to record all birds. I know that's like, yeah, okay, but I would love to do that. Even ones I've already recorded, I would do them again. But I would say that right now, I would say wading birds. Like, so for example, I mean, I've seen American
Hmm.
bittern and I've seen least bittern, but to get good recordings of wading birds is really like, it's tough because they're vocalizing when you spook them. And it's like, by then it's like, I'm not recording. Like I wasn't
Hmm.
ready. You know what I mean? Kind of thing. So I would say that's something that I'd like to focus a little bit more on to get more, recording ticks on that. And then not necessarily in the ABA era. I mean, I would love to be able to record the white bellbird. That would be amazing. I'm
Ah.
taking it out now. I'm taking it out of ABA area and the Western capercaillie, I believe.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that would be amazing. To be able to record those, that would be spectacular.
With the bellbird, what's the deal with the bellbird? It's like some kind of superlative. Is it like the loudest, the loudest,
Yeah,
something like that?
specifically the white bellbird is
Right,
supposed to
right,
be
right.
the loudest. Exactly, the
Yeah.
loudest. Yeah.
I've seen the one in Costa Rica, the three wattle,
Yeah.
but I
Yeah.
didn't hear it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
I
All
have
right.
that
Well,
one.
cool.
Yeah.
I actually have heard a least bidder in Florida in
Mhm.
SDA 5, Stormwater Treatment Area 5. I was with
Okay.
a couple birders and my wife and a friend, and like we were hearing something. We were like, "What is that?" And like it wasn't me, it was my friend that I was with, who is like, "Could this be like least bidder?" And he like looked it up and we're like, "Oh wow."
Yeah.
So that
Yep.
was really lucky.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see. All right, what's a bird that you haven't painted yet that you would love to paint?
Hmm. Um, hmm. Well, I would have to say hummingbirds,
Okay.
multiple hummingbirds. Yeah. So the reason why is because like to me, hummingbirds are so dynamic, and then there's the iridescence, and they're just so delicate. So it's kind of like I haven't found and or mastered the medium, at least I think, that would be able to translate like
Hmm.
how I feel about them and how they show up in the world in a sense of like being beautiful,
Mm-hmm.
delicate, but fierce at the same time. So
Mm-hmm.
I haven't done it yet, primarily because I just haven't found a medium I think that could translate it. I mean, I'm other people have, but for me myself, it's yeah, it's a bit tricky for me. So I'd like to at some point be able to focus on hummingbirds and be able to translate, just the way they are. So yeah.
Yeah, I could see that being like a really big but also fun challenge for artists, how to
Mhm.
capture, because so much about what makes hummingbirds so beautiful is like the movement, when
Yeah.
they turn and then you see
Yeah, exactly.
the
Exactly.
brilliance. So how
Exactly.
do you capture that in the art when part of it is, yeah, okay, that's very okay,
Yeah.
neat.
Because I
Um,
mean, to me, I feel like drawing a hummingbird stagnant is just like it's not doing it justice at all. And it's not,
mhm. Hmm.
portraying like it's being. So yeah.
Yeah, I feel like that would be just like a great panel or something if there were ever like a bird art conference. Like, how do you
Yeah. How do
oh,
you translate
oh,
this?
hummingbird? Well, that's a very interesting answer. That maybe could lead right into my next question, possibly. But I wanted to ask: is there anything you'd like to try in your art that you haven't yet? Like using different painting materials, compositional experimentation or anything like that?
Um, yeah. I think like in the future, in the far, far future, I've been thinking about getting into block printing, lino cut.
Mm. Ooh.
But that's kind of far future. But in the immediate, I decided I'm going to start working with oil pastels. I had worked with oil pastels just a little while ago, and then I put them down. But recently I've kind of been like, you know what? I'm gonna go back to the oil pastels.
Hmm. Okay, cool. All right. Well,
Yeah.
I hope that works out well. Okay, last question that I wanted to ask. If you could go birding anywhere in the ABA area that you haven't been to, where would you go and what birds would you most want to find?
Oh. So that's a big question. I would say in the immediate, I've been really thinking about the Pacific Northwest,
Mm-hmm.
um, specifically to see like King Eider, tufted puffin, um, what else? Varied thrush,
Yeah.
American dipper,
Mm-hmm.
um, of course, great gray and boreal owl, and the grouse is dusky and spruce. Those are like North Pacific Northwest. That's what I'd be going for.
Okay,
So
cool.
a little bit of every area.
Awesome. Okay,
Yeah.
great. All right. Well, the thing, yeah, I mean, those were all great answers. Thank you so much for that. Thing I wanted to say about the Bird of the Year program is that we celebrate a really cool bird. Next year's bird is really cool. I don't know if it's been like this for you, Natasha, but this whole meeting or interview, I've just been like, I have like the Looney Tunes on my shoulders where the the angel is kind of like, don't reveal the bird by accident, don't give him a clue, and then the devil one on my other shoulder is like, give him a clue.
I
So
know.
I mean, we did.
It's been rough. Like I'm telling you, it has been rough because when I'm working on the drawing, I'm like, don't tell anybody what you're doing. Don't tell anyone what you're doing. Like I have to, don't do it. I'm like,
well, I appreciate that. I appreciate that. It's the same for me when I'm like coordinating content for the magazine. I really try not to tell people, even when I like sort of trust people. It's just a little, so it's a little bit of pressure, but we did pick a really cool bird. It's a very exciting bird. And what I wanted to say was that, we celebrate the bird, but we also celebrate the artist. That's part of what makes the Bird of the Year program cool, is that like we get to hire, the ABA hires an artist to produce cool art. And so that's why I just want to take a moment to say, like, that's why it's important to be a member of the ABA and support the ABA when you can, because then we get to do cool stuff like this. So if you're not a member of the ABA, or if you're a lapsed member, consider joining. And I mean, the January issue. So, as I've implied various times, I am the editor of the January issue of Birding, which is the Bird of the Year issue. And I have some really great articles that I'm very proud of that are going to be in that issue. Of course, Natasha's interview that I mentioned, her art is on the cover. And there's some other really great Bird of the Year articles. And I also have some other really cool articles that are not about the Bird of the Year. Peter Kaesner has an article that he wrote that is just so cool. He's, as a lot of birders know, he's really getting close to 10,000 birds. He's like less than 100 birds away now. And I asked him to write an article about what strategies he's going to use and like what birds he's going to try to get to 10,000. So there's just some really great stuff in there. So, if you're not a member, I hope you'll consider joining so you can get the January issue and you can appreciate Natasha's art and everything else that's in there. So thank you for everyone watching for joining us today. Thank you, Natasha, for your time. And when everyone gets the magazine in their mailboxes or their inboxes, please feel free to let me know what you think of it, because I always want the magazine to be something that people love and something that they look forward to.